Hello and welcome to another lesson on fraction. So we are going to continue with word problems. And before we continue, if you like my previous videos, if it helped you in any way, please do consider subscribing, because when I upload future videos, you may get notified so you can keep up with whatever new lessons that I've posted. And I really hope it's beneficial for you. So again, today we're going to try to keep it under 20 minutes. Alright, we'll recap some of the questions, similar type of questions as what we've did in the last lesson. This is again fraction, both fractions with units. So it's a simple one, we'll go through quickly. Grace bought a 2-meter long ribbon. 2/5 meter of the ribbon was used to tie a present, and 3/10 of the ribbon was used to make a necklace. How much of the ribbon was left? Okay, so since we have done this a few times, I'm just going to use a calculator for this. In fact, maybe I don't need a calculator because the numbers are quite simple. So what I'll do is I'll quickly change this whole number to mixed number. So I'll get 10/10 minus, okay, so I'll do the conversion quickly. If let's say you are not sure, please refer back to the previous lessons where you can see clearly how I do the conversions. So again, it's from left to right. Don't make the mistake of subtracting these two first. Okay, so from left to right, you will get 6/10 minus 3/10. That will give us 3/10. That's all. So this is the answer. Don't forget your units. And the next question, still fractions with units. So it's the same thing. We can add or subtract immediately. So Michael sorted 7 2/3 kg of recyclable materials in the morning. He sorted 3/16 kg less recyclable materials in the afternoon. How much recyclable materials did he sort all together? So we have the one in the morning. We need to find the one in the afternoon. And in the afternoon, he recycled less. So we'll do a subtraction. Okay, and since they have units, we can straight away change to denominator 6 to subtract. Okay, so again, my preference and my advice is to do the fractions first. So in case you need to do some regrouping. So 4 minus 1 is 3 out of 6. 7 minus 3 is 4. And we simplify. Alright, divided by 2, you get half. Okay, so let's just do the simplification first. So this is in the afternoon. Okay, so let's label there. It's a good practice to label what the numbers mean. So when you need to refer back, it's easier for you. Okay, so especially if there's many steps to the question. Okay, so now we're going to add them together, because we're going to find how much recyclable materials did he sort all together. So we're going to add the two fractions, and we'll change to denominator 6. That means times 2, 7, 4/6 plus 4, 3/6. Alright, so again, I'll prefer to do the fraction first. We get 7/6. 7 plus 4 is 11. 7/6. But look, we can't leave the answer like that, because the denominator is smaller than the numerator. So we must do a regrouping. Alright, so how do we do the regrouping? So I'll just separately do here. Okay, so we'll take one whole first. So one whole is 6/6. That means we are left with 1/6. And then we'll just change this into 1/6. Alright, so the numerator and this numerator, we add them together. So we get 12. And that is the fraction that's left. And don't forget the units. Okay, so the units usually you write in your answer blank. So that's it for this kind of questions where you have fractions and both fractions have units. Now on to the next one, where the fractions have no units, and this has a keyword there, remainder. So this, I call this the remainder question. Okay, So the remainder question is very, very common, and it's very simple once you understand how to solve this. There are many ways to solve this, and I'll show you my preferred method. Okay, again, if you have your preferred method, please share with me in the comment section below so I can share with other students. Okay, because not everyone would find a single method easy. Okay, some may find other methods easier. So let's not waste time and let's go through this question. Again, it's common question. Pansy had some beads. She used 7/10 of them to make a necklace and gave 2/9 of the remainder to her sister. Now, whenever we see a remainder, okay, what I like to do is I forget about the remainder for a while. So what I'll do here, I'll just box it. So I'm just gonna, okay, my preferred method is to draw the model. So I'm gonna draw the model for only the first part here. Okay, so we'll draw a quick model. Okay, we'll divide it into 10, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Always check to make sure you have the right number of units. So what we're going to do now is we're going to take 7 parts here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And I always advise my student to draw a long line because we want to separate the remainder from the rest of the model. So this is the remainder now. Okay, so this is the remainder. Alright, so 7/10 of the whole thing. So remember, after the word of, I think I mentioned this in the first part, is the unit. Okay, 7/10 of them. Them means the total bits. But the units for the next one is of the remainder. So there's the two different units. What a lot of students would do is they would simply just add. Okay, since it's a calculator question in paper 2, they will just simply add. So no, remember the keywords again is remainder. Okay, and one more thing you must remember, after the word of. Okay, after a fraction and you'll see the word of, that is the unit. So the two units here is them and remainder. So they are different units, so you cannot add or just subtract them like that. Now, what do we do next? Now we're going to focus on the remainder. Means we're going to focus only on this area here. We're not going to care about this area now. Okay, so we're going to focus on here. Now, the next part is crucial. You have to understand this carefully and clearly. Look at the denominator. Remember we said the denominator is the total. So here the denominator is 9. But look at the remainder. The denominator is 3. Okay. So it's not 9. So what can we do to make it 9? A lot of teachers used to teach students to cut. But I don't like cutting because why? It will be too messy. Okay. You can see that I have to cut. And then it's like the units are going to get so small, okay, and sometimes it gets confusing. Alright, so what I prefer to do is I just prefer to write the number of units here. So 3, 6, 9. So if I give each large unit, I turn them into 3 smaller units. So I have 3 in this, 3 in this box, and 3 in this box. So I have 3, 6, 9. And when I do that, okay, I'll have to put 3 for every other units. Okay, why I do this again? Because I want this to be 9 units. Where do I get the 9 units from? The denominator is the total. Okay, so how many did I use? I only used 2 units here. Okay, so here I'll just draw somewhere here. Okay, so here I'll take out 2 units. And who is these 2 units for? For the sister. Alright. So what fraction of her bits was given to her sister? So it's a simple question. She gave her sister 2 units, but how many is the unit is the denominator? Remember, fraction is a numerator and denominator. So the numerator is what they are asking for. Again, they're asking for the sister, and denominator is always the total. So that's all. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 times 30. 10 times 3 is 30, and we simplify 1/15. So this is the answer. Again, okay, we're going to practice this remainder question. Alright, how to do it again? We separate. Whenever we see the word remainder, we separate it first. We'll just focus on the first fraction, and that's the first thing you must do. Okay, remember if there's the word remainder, that's the clue. The second thing is, remember after the word of. That's the units. So you see here the units are different. So you cannot you cannot add or subtract them just like that. Okay, like for example, since she used 7/10 to make necklace, she gave 2/9 to her sister. Or how many did she use altogether? 7/10 plus 2/9. Okay, so that's wrong. So you separate the remainder and you draw the new units. Okay, for me, I like to just write the numbers. But if you prefer to cut, okay, so since this is the first question, we'll take a bit of time here to explain again. Okay, so if you prefer to cut, there's no problem with that. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So again, we take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We draw a long line. Why? Because we want to make sure. Okay, that's not a good line. All right. Okay, even though we do not need to be very accurate, but at least we have to make sure the model is clear enough for us to understand. All right. So now we have a better line there. Alright, so let's erase this. Nice. Okay, so this is the remainder. Okay, so again, I'm writing R there to indicate that's the remainder. Now, I have a different color here to show you. I'm going to cut into 3. Okay, this way it's less confusing because we know the bigger units are in blue. And the one that I cut, okay, is in green. So you see, it takes a slightly longer time to complete the cutting, and since I'm using different color, it's less confusing too. All right, and I'm gonna use a different color again here. I'm gonna use the highlighter mode to show you that I'm gonna take 2 out of 9 parts here. So this is 2 out of the 9 parts here of the remainder. All right, so she has 2 that is she gave to her sister, and the total is 30. All right, so there again 2, and total, if you count 1, 2, 3, 4, if you count slowly, it will be 30. All right, on to the next question. Almost at the 20 minutes mark. Joe had some money. He spent 3/7 of his money on a pair of shoes and 1/4 of the remainder on shirt. He spent 36 more on shoes than on shirt. So I see this straight away. Boom. I draw my bracket. I don't care about this remainder first. So what do? Okay, so I change the shape here. I can change to square actually. So maybe I'll use this. Okay, so I'll draw 7 units first. Alright, so well, it's a bit thick, the outline, but I guess we'll work with that. So we'll draw 7 here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So here is the 7th. Alright, so we're gonna delete. Let's see, hopefully we can delete this. Doesn't work. So I should have done my homework first to check what works and what does not. Alright, so I'm terribly sorry about that. So we have to redraw. Okay, so let's just stick to this pen. Alright, so again, sorry about that. I should have done my homework and test out first. Okay, it's something that I rarely use, that shape thing. Okay, usually I just use this pen mode. Okay, so let's cut it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and let's just make it slightly nicer, equal. Okay, 7. All right, and don't forget, always double check after you draw your models. Always double check. Just do a quick count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Nice. All right, 3 units. Again, a longer line, 3 units. Okay, and this is for the shoes. All right, so shoes here. Okay, you can highlight if you want, no issue. Okay, if you can do that if you want. Now this is the remainder. Again, I'm just gonna signal there, R for remainder. Now we're gonna focus on the remainder. Look, denominator is 4, and for this question, it's already 4 units, so we don't need to do any other special things. Okay, so in the future, I will show you what happens if the denominator and the remainder units are not the same. I'll show you in the future. Alright, because it's a common question, but somehow it's not very common in PSLE anymore, but schools still do like to test those questions. So again, I'll take one unit for shirt. Okay, so I just write there shirt. Alright, and this is what I have after that, and I'm not really concerned about that at the moment. I'm concerned about this 36 more on the shoes than the shirt. So I'll just write down here, shoes is 3 units, and shirts is how many unit? 1 unit. So since we are given the difference here, we need to find the difference for the units also. So that's one thing you need to take note of also. If they give you a value and that value is total, usually you need to find total for units also. If they give you a value and the value is the difference, usually you'll need to find the difference for the units also. Okay, so we'll find the difference. Sorry, I'm not sure why I wrote down 3 units here. Okay, not arrow actually. Actually it's minus. 3 units minus 1 unit equals to 2 units. So these 2 units is the difference in units, and this is the difference in the value. So we have 2 units. Okay, so we have some form of an equation here, and we always do find 1 unit. Okay, so it's 36 divided by 2, which gives us 18. So once we get 1 unit, everything is simple. Alright, how much was the pair of shoes? The pair of shoes is 3 units. So we find 3 units. That is 18 times 3. Alright, 24, 54. Okay, so this is the answer for A. Now what about B? Okay, let's separate them. How much did Joe have at first? Very simple. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 units. Okay, is 7 times 18. Alright, so let's use our calculator. 7 times 18 is 126. So this is the answer for B. Alright, so I believe we are almost at the 20 minutes mark. Alright, so next question again, okay, is the one that I was saying, where both again has no units, and okay, again I said after the word of, this can be used as the unit. So for the first part, the unit is of his money. The second part is of the remainder. And whenever we see remainder, okay, again, we are not going to care about it. Alright, so this will be the last question we're going to do for this video. Because like I said, I try not to go too much over 20 minutes. Okay, that's the preferred length for a video, I feel. Okay, so let's draw the model for the first fraction. So again, denominator is the total. Alright, so we cut 1, 2, 3, 4. So we have 3 units on shirt. Okay, so let's do the shirt here. So this is on shirt. Okay, 3 units. Again, if you want to shade this, no problem. Now look at this part here. Okay, this is 4, this is 2. Okay, for this case, it's still easy. This is almost like the first question. Okay, it's in fact the same as the first question. 4 can be turned into 2 by cutting it like that. Okay, so later on you will see another type of question where you can't divide the units to make into the same number as the denominator. Okay, so this is the remainder. Now we have remainder of 4 units, and the denominator is also 4, and 1 unit here is on the belt. Okay, what fraction of his money does he have left? Very simple. Fraction, we have a numerator, and the focus is on what he has left, which is 3 unit, over the total 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, 3 over 10. So this is our answer. Alright, so basically that's it for this video. Now, if we look at the question here also, it's quite simple because we can still cut the remainder. into the required denominator. Okay, so as we go on, you can see, you can try all these questions by yourself first, and then you can check with me as I go through. Alright, so that's about it for today. And remember, if these videos help you, benefit you in any way, please do consider to subscribe. Alright, because that will really help the channel grow, and please share with other students. Alright, so they can also benefit from this video. Thank you very much, and see you in the next one.